EN155SB Encore Acoustic. Not what you would call a high value guitar. A really good condition one would be about £100. But a lot of people think they're brilliant in the way of sounds and playing. Now I have a little bit of touching up to do on this guitar. There's nothing quite seriously wrong with it, except for they got a little problem with height. It's quite sore on the fingers to play. I haven't checked the neck yet, but I do see this, and I suspect that all of you can see what the problem is there. For those of you who don't know, the bridge saddle is too high and it's leaning forward, which means it hasn't been trimmed down. It's just a brand new saddle put in there and hasn't been adjusted. So I should be able to improve this guitar fairly quickly. Oh, don't say that. Oh, God, once I say that, I know I'm going to have trouble. Oh, God. Give it a bit of a polish. Fix up some dinges and dents. Neck is not bad. Tuners, that one's very loose. I'll have to take them off to see what's inside them, to see why a couple of them are so loose. But I'll switch to the other guitar now. And I'll switch to the other guitar now. Did he really say he'll switch to the other guitar? What he really meant, and that's me, Austin, is I'll switch to the other camera. Right, I've loosened the strings down. I think somebody's painted that board, that fretboard, because the dots have been painted over, but we'll see. And I'm going to lift these off. The strings are all quite loose, so I'm going to lift these out. They look new as well, these pegs. So somebody's replaced the saddle and the pegs, and replace the saddles and the pegs. I suppose most people, if you're not into guitars, would not know that you have to do something to make the saddle fit your own guitar. You're too tight. Right, let me loosen you off. That little capo I have on the guitar is very good, and it sort of almost keeps the tune. Now, is there anything in there? No. Again, hello ice cream man. I want an ice cream, I want an ice cream. Again, the saddle slot's very shallow. So you can understand why somebody would stick one in there and think that's wonderful, but it's not. Saddle is very shallow. I'm not going to do anything about that because I don't think I need to do anything about that. Let me just check to see if the bridge is lifting at all. No, it's all pretty good there. And let me just check the straight. It's a dreadnought, so there will be some. Nothing too bad. And let me press for listen. There's no noises there, so that's pretty good as well. So it really is just a matter of shaving that down or finding another one that's already been pre-shaved, because I do keep these things, and instead of shaving down, I prefer to just replace it if I can. Let's just see what I have in my toy box. It's still too thick. Too thick. That's broken. A bit too thin. Shame. Why do I keep it? Because I don't like throwing things out. Okay, what are you? You're a bit thinner. Oh, that's a 12 string. Right, so give me the broken one for size, because I know it's a bone one. And let me look for size just. Right, so what I'm going to have to do is bring that down as far as I can, actually. And what I'll do it with a sander. Put the pencil in, run I take off close to that amount. As you can see, the pencil line is rounded, because that means that let me just make sure what I'm saying. Yeah, it's a perfectly flat. So that's been shaped already. So what I'll do is I'll shape that to the roundness of the pencil line, which goes that way. All right, I'll do that later. I'll just keep on going. Right, okay, let's pull out. What I just want to check is why the pearl drops have vanished. I think somebody has sprayed that neck, but let me just see. Oh, right, okay. What's happened here? Oh yes, there's Georgie girl with the strings. They're not for you. Sorry, mate. Let me just look to see what's happening here. No, the pearl drop is there. On that one. May not be there in that one. Is it? Oh, it's been painted on. You can see this has been painted on with a brush down to there. Did I say this is going to be easy? I'll show you in a second if I'm correct in what I'm saying. All right. I haven't seen that before. Right, okay. I'll show you on the other camera. I have seen lazy and I have seen lazy. They're actually painted on pearl drops. And when you go to scrape them, you just scrape off the silver paint. I'm not sure what I'll do with that. I might just, I don't know what I'll do. I'll think about that. I might be mad, but I've scraped the 12th fret and taken away all the black gunk, and it was a very thick layer. Somebody's put a couple of layers on it. So I'm going to see what I can do with that now. I'm going to try putting a little touch of high build finishing on it and see what it looks like. Look what I'm not showing you. It's just slow, awkward, uncomfortable, sore on my hands. But it has to be done to get this neck looking better. Even if it's a cheap guitar, you can still make it look better looking. So that's what I'm not showing you. Big thick layers of this mucky black paint that they put on these necks. But when you get past it, you've got a nice piece of wood. And there's one that's been treated with some gloss a couple of times, but I don't know what I haven't decided what I'm going to do with it. I haven't even told the owner I'm doing this yet, but I know that it can go back to normal if he likes it. If he doesn't like what I'm finishing with it, I can just sand it down and paint this muck back on it. Okay, there's no point in boring you to tears with this. Goodbye. I'll come back to you whenever I've done the whole neck, maybe in 10 years' time. This is mighty good exercise because I'm exhausted, but you can see what's beneath it. Look at that grain, all that lovely wavy grain. Now I'm not going to be able to clear that black stuff out, but if I work at it a little bit more and we'll get a lovely pattern going in there. But that's only the main part of the scraping done. What I'm going to do is the 3rd fret now, but I'll record that the whole way through and let you just see how thick the glaur is on that. Now, I don't know why I should be the only one to suffer. I'm going to let you see how much it takes to get down to that. This is a brand new blade. That's my 4th blade I've used, and the glaur on this is amazingly thick. Let's just see, I think another 2 or 3 minutes on it should do that one. And if you multiply that, that's not quite right yet because it's going to have to come down a bit more to get it a bit more bright. I've done this on a few guitars, this type of thing, taking off the black, but never as hard as this. that was thick. But what I've tried in the past, I've tried yellow stain on it to see how the yellow stain reacted. And it's on the videos somewhere. I put yellow on, and then I put black on top of the yellow, and it gave a nice sort of tiger pattern. But it was too faint to see. Have I got that guitar handy here? Yeah, this guitar is done that way. And I don't know if you're going to see it. You can see there's a yellow and a black and that's just a simple honer. But there's, you can see it's a sort of slightly different yellow and black, and all that used to be with that black paint. And I never liked it. It's just like a cheap way of covering it. So I think that's going to be enough. I am going to come back to this thread again. There's nothing magic in it. I keep saying anybody can do this. You know, if you just take your time. Look, the amount of junk coming off it. But luckily I have my little, what do you call it, vacuum cleaner. So I'm going to switch you off, and you can make a harlequin guitar, but it doesn't work. It looks funny. I've looked at it. I've done that on another guitar. I've did every other fret, but it still looks stupid. Okay, that's it's great. I oiled it. It's just scraped and oiled. Fascinated by the have a close look at the grain on this. What kind of tree gives you a grain as wobbly as that? To me, it's like the grain you would find on, I think, something like a hickory stick that would go up and down. But it's a beautiful piece of grain on it, and it was hidden behind that thick lower. Right, so on to the next job. This is the Encore I just did the neck for, and you see it's looking nice, the neck. And the body, I fixed the body up. There was a lot of damage around the edges, and I lowered the saddle, brought the saddle down, and now I'll just give you a little tune. It's all looking nicely now. It's not the world's most expensive guitar, but it is a nice little guitar. Let me just see what the tuning is like. I wish I was one of these great guitarists who could show off you all fancy runs. Very rich, nice sound. Very much improved action. That reminds me of a tune. What is the tune reminds me of? I think it's one of Marty Robbins. I was rolling down the street. Yeah, I can't remember. Anyway, it's going home to its daddy. That's one of 3 guitars that are going home to its daddy, and they're all ready to go. Bye-bye. No, it doesn't want to say goodbye. Oh, right, it does want to say goodbye now. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Ooh.